Alright guys, how's it going? What do you think of the helmet? I'm going snowboarding next week in Bulgaria. Yeah, imagine that. First time ever doing something like that. Me and the missus have been for a couple of practice runs on some indoor slopes recently. So we're, going to be not too shit when we get out there. And just hoping there's actually going to be some snow on the slopes because reports are it hasn't really snowed much yet and there's only 2 lanes open or something on this mountain that we're going to. So hopefully within the next week there's going to be loads of snow in Bulgaria. Bloody climate change, man, swear to God. But yeah, that should be sweet. So this just came this morning, a bit of a snug fit. It's supposed to be a large, it's supposed to be up to 62 centimetres. My bonce is quite big. 59 apparently, according to Mrs. measuring it the other night. Know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's alright. It's not going anywhere, that. Anyway, so, oh God, let me tear that off. So, yo guys, long time no see. Not much videos on this channel lately. Been doing a lot of other stuff. Still been gaming, mainly PSVR still, but I have been doing something else. There's a new system I'm going to show this video, and I'm very happy about what I've been doing with that. Yeah, I'm still mainly PSVR. I absolutely love it. Although I've been playing a few flat games as well on the old PS4. So yeah, I got some pickups. I'm go through them and such and things and that and stuff, isn't it? Yes. What do you think of the beard? Coming on in it, a bit more hirsute. So I did just have that kind of like little kind of underbeard before, but now I'm going for the full works. The missus prefers it apparently. She's even been making beard oil for me. Imagine that, beard oil to make it soft. Anyway. Right, here's some pickups for you. Right, so I think I mentioned this actually. Pickups and recent gaming, I should have said, because I think I might have mentioned this in a previous video, but it's been quite a while, so I'm going to just talk about it because I have been playing it, and it is Golem. So this game was one of the first ever announced for PSVR, like 4 or 5 years ago, before the system even came out. Maybe 4 years ago. I don't know, a long time ago. And anyway, so people have been looking forward to this for so long. We saw kind of very brief kind of footage of it. No one really knew what it was going to be like. And it just got several delays. And we were starting to get a bit worried about it. Is it losing its direction, whatever? But no, this game is the nuts. This game is brilliant, so fun. It has a similar kind of structure to the gameplay as Dark Souls, in that you kind of you go out and you explore and you unlock new paths and you upgrade abilities, but when you die you lose certain things that you've accumulated, but you keep certain kind of perma stats. Yeah, but anyway, what makes this game so compelling and so fun is the combat. Because a lot of VR combat, you kind of just waggle your move controller around and it doesn't feel very kind of visceral, doesn't feel very tangible, rather, is the word I'm looking for. But this game has a very distinct and effective combat system. So you do actually use blocks, and you do have to kind of put your sword in strategic places to block the attacks depending on which direction they're coming from. Yeah, and it really feels tangible, and it's a really fun combat mechanic. And so Golem, I can highly recommend that. So cool. Yeah. Okay, next game. This is a game that I did pick up a while ago, but it's one that I finally got around to playing after being in the drawer for months on end, and is Déraciné. This is made by the same people that made Dark Souls, funnily enough, from Software. It is nothing like Dark Souls, although it does get a bit dark towards the end. This is more of a kind of it's like a kind of like a puzzle game, I guess. There's a storyline that runs through it. It's very difficult to describe, actually. You go through this kind of eerie looking kind of school where there's like 6 students and headmaster, and it just tells a story between them. It's very wistful, very kind of just melancholic, a little bit spooky. The weird thing is you're a fairy in it, sort of thing, and time is always still until you trigger certain points, in which case dialogue happens, the characters start moving, things start occurring. But it's basically a puzzle game. but it's very difficult to describe. Heavy on the narrative, good atmosphere, a little bit annoying at times where you kind of have to search out what it is you're supposed to do next, what little thing it is you've missed that you're supposed to interact with to trigger the next part of the story. A little bit annoying in that respect. I've had to use a walkthrough guide once so far. I don't know how far I'm near the end of it, but it's okay. Overall, I've enjoyed it. Déraciné. Now then, obviously this is a game that I picked up a while ago, and can you believe I still not finished it, Shenmue 3. Yeah. I just wanted to mention it again in this video because, you know, reviews have been mixed about this game, let's be honest. Even those that have enjoyed it have had one common complaint, and that was that it didn't progress the story very far. It felt like a very full game. There's a lot to it. There's a lot to do in it. It's certainly a very accomplished Shenmue game in the series. You know, it looks the part, it plays the part for the main. It plays well. Good atmosphere, good characters. You know, but yeah, people were complaining that it didn't move the story along too far. And when you got to the end, you kind of felt like, well, more stuff needs to happen. And funnily enough, we've just got recent kind of teasers from one of the publishers that suggest that Shenmue 4 may already be in the works. Now I don't know if it's been confirmed yet whether that was just kind of them, you know, wishful thinking, whether they were just kind of saying we'd like to work, if they meant to say we'd like to work on Shenmue 4. But from the wording of the text, the messages that were out there, or the tweets or whatever it was, it did kind of seem like that was a real thing. Like Shenmue 4 is already being planned, or rather already starting, kind of is definitely going to be a thing. Now, you'd like to think surely Yu Suzuki would be able to start Shenmue 4 a lot easier than they would the third one, because of course now they've got the new engine in place, they've got the new assets in place, they've got a new team assembled, and you'd like to think that it'll be easier for them to start it. The only stumbling block, of course, would be funding. I'm not confident that Shenmue 3 is sold well enough to fund an entire new game, so they're going to have to get that funding maybe from publishers somewhere else, I don't know. But let's see. I hope they have. I hope they've made enough money off of this in order to, you know, fund and get cracking with the fourth game, because it really seems like they're going to need another one to satisfy fans in terms of the narrative. Maybe he's thinking, maybe he thought all along, you know, I'll get the third one made and I'll just hold off enough of the story so that I can finish it on 4. Because I have to be honest, although I'd like to see a 4 and 5, he did say originally he'd like to do it in 5 games. I don't think it's got the legs for that. I really don't think it's got the legs. You know, there were certain aspects of this that people were disappointed with. You know, the combat didn't feel quite as good as the originals, and stuff. But I have enjoyed it so far. I've still not finished it. I've only just kind of started playing the second large area. You get to this port city, and it kind of kicks off there and stuff. And I've only just got there. You know, after the village, is it Bailu village in the mountains? I played all that, and after that I kind of just left it and got distracted by other games, and as so often does these days, you know, all days, I just got distracted and kind of fell out of playing it. But I'm back into it now and I'm enjoying it, so that's cool. But yeah, maybe his plan all along was to you know, put out this one, hold back a bit of the story, and then finish it on a fourth one, assuming that he, you know, made enough profit, has enough money in the bank to complete a fourth game. You'd like to think the production of it would be quicker and easier to do. Like I said, got all the assets, got the team and everything. But let's see. I really hope he does. It would be even more of a shame to end on this one than it was to end on the second one, because, you know, like I said, we've got another cliffhanger on this game apparently. I'm glad that I haven't seen spoilers about the story, but that is the complaint, that there's not enough story in this one. So let's see how that goes. I think they made a mistake when or somebody, I don't know if it was EaseNet or the publisher or the game stores, or somebody made a mistake. This game was released at 50 quid. Was it 50? Yeah, 50 quid. I saw it on the shelf at the same price as Death Stranding, which is, of course, was a much more expensive game by a much bigger studio, to being sold to a much higher audience, bigger audience. So for Shenmue 3, this niche game this third game in a series that a lot of gamers have no idea about. It's a hard sell already. Like, how are you going to entice, gamers into the third game in a series that you have no investment in? And, a game that feels and looks dated already. At 50 quid. No, this should have been released at a budget price. You needed to entice people in. You needed to get this off the shelves at any cost. Like, I would have released this at half that price. You need to get this in homes. You need to get people caring about it and enjoying it, so they can, get hyped for a fourth one and finish this fucking saga and kill Land D, for God's sake. So to release, I don't know who made that decision, but that's got to have hurt sales. To have this on the shelf right next to Death Stranding for the same price, most gamers are not going to give this a look in. So if the sale figures are shit for this game, that's going to be one of the major reasons for that, I think. So I hope it picks up. I hope it does alright. I'm sure it's had a price drop by now, but and apparently there's DLC coming. So and apparently some of that might even be story-based DLC. So will it be the case that he's actually held off on some story to add it as DLC later? And was that a conscious decision, or was it a funding decision, or was it a timing decision? Could he not, fit everything that he wanted into with the time that he had left? I don't know what the reason for that is, but if there is DLC for this game, I will definitely support it. I will buy stuff to do with this game. I want to help EaseNet, and hopefully, the money from that DLC will go to EaseNet. I want to help them be capable of producing the fourth game and ending this saga, because that's where it starts. We need the closure. We need that closure for Ryu. Come on, but I'm still enjoying it. It's certainly got some hurdles to get past though. Even for fans of the series, you have to contend with the fact that it is 20 years later. Gaming has moved on. We have got higher standards when it comes to kind of open world free play game. Open world games. Although they were true to the original games and tried to make it feel like a cohesive kind of carrying on from those games, you've got to contend with the fact that we've got 20 years worth of open world gaming under our belts now, and certain things about this do feel dated, but that's just how it is, I guess. But I'm still enjoying it. Shenmue 3, there you go, bosh. Right, another Kickstarter game. I didn't realise this was a Kickstarter game actually until after I bought it, but it is We Happy Few, and this is pretty sweet, quite dark, kind of dystopian world. It's kind of like Brave New World, 1984 kind of thing. If you don't know anything about it already, it's the premise is everyone's supposed to take this drug called, is it called Happy? What's it called? I can't remember. Joy. This drug called Joy, and it makes you see the world. Everything's great, everything's brilliant, I don't need to complain, my life is fine, the authorities care about me, everything's just as it should be. If you take your Joy, kind of like a Stepford Wives kind of situation maybe. If you don't take your Joy, if you come off it, then you start seeing everything's a little bit wrong, or quite wrong. And but it's really cool. Very, very lots of character, lots of atmosphere, lots of good narrative. It's a fun game. Lots to do in it. Enjoying this game. This is pretty damn sweet. We Happy Few. There you go. And recommend that. 2 PSVR games here. The first one I've been playing recently is Red Matter. Again, I did pick this up quite a while ago, but finally got around to playing it. And this is a puzzle game set on Mars in space. So it's quite desolate. You're kind of the only person really there throughout the whole game, but it tells the story very well, and the puzzles are quite really, really fun to do actually. They're kind of based in your environment, so they're not just like a generic kind of puzzle on a board or something. They're to do with the environment you're in. You move around these rooms and you have to figure out what you need to do to progress to the next area kind of thing, but it's just very inventive puzzles. It's a lot of fun. Red Matter is pretty damn sweet. I have got stuck once or twice on this as well, but it's one of those games where after you've found the solution, once or twice on walkthroughs, I have to admit, you have to realise, that was my fault, I was being an idiot. Yeah, I could have figured that out kind of thing, So it's difficult but fair puzzles, I'd say. Red Matter, that is a pretty cool game. And the latest VR game that I've bought, at least physical, I can't remember if I've bought any digital games on there recently. I try not to until they're in the sales, because I just, it really bugs me that, with digital you can't, once you finish with the games, you can't use them to, add to your collection. You can't trade them off and get money back on new purchases. So that really bugs me. So for that reason mainly, I always wait till the sales, severe sales as well, until I buy digital games. But anyway, with that said, it's Everybody's Golf VR. This is really, really fun. Really cool. It works perfectly as you would hope it to be a golf game in VR. You've got the Move controller and you just swing it, like a golf club. And it just works perfectly. It really does. The tracking's fantastic. It feels responsive. It feels fair. It feels like it's definitely your skill that makes or breaks your shot each time. And there's a learning curve to that. But it works really well. Really fun game. One of the common complaints about it though is that there's no multiplayer. That it would be so sweet to be on those courses with somebody else kind of stood there maybe waiting for you to take your shot and then you swap over kind of thing. Just to have that interaction, to have that kind of accompaniment of a real person on these courses with you. That would be really fun. There must be a reason they haven't implemented that. Maybe it was too awkward. Maybe, I don't know why they didn't do that. But this is really good. I've really enjoyed it. And I've not been a huge golf fan of video games. The last kind of video game, golf game I really got into is probably a PGA game on the Mega Drive, like literally fucking 30 years ago or something. But, God, is it that long? Yes, it is that long. Yes, I'm that old. Jesus Christ. But Everybody's Golf, I can recommend that. That was pretty sweet. Wait for that to come down in price. Got that for about 10 quid, I think. Bosh. Nice. But yeah, the Move controllers. PSVR owners have been kind of stuck with these things. They've served us well, don't get me wrong. And it's probably what enabled the Sony to even, dip their toe in the VR water in the first place. If they'd had to develop and come up with and sell brand new controllers, they might not have felt it was worth the investment. This might have tipped them over the edge and thinking, go on then, let's have a go. We've already got hand controllers, let's do the VR. We've got the Move controllers ready. Maybe that was the thing. And we were so grateful that enabled them to jump on board with VR, because it's been such a fucking amazing ride. PSVR is so much fun. I've been, an evangelist for it. A few of my friends have picked them up after having tried it at my house. And so it is spreading slowly but surely. The headsets come down in price. There's a much bigger selection of games for it now, a lot of exclusives as well. So PSVR is getting there. But this thing, especially in Europe, has been a bit of a hurdle. Apparently they're not making enough of these things. In America, I don't know what it's like, but in Europe, these things, the price of these things have gone through the roof, which is ridiculous. Before VR came out, you could find these for dirt cheap, like literally a few quid in charity shops, second-hand shops, whatever. Nobody wanted them anymore because obviously they were for the PS3, a dying console that were designed for games that hardly anybody had anyway. But weirdly, there was fucking loads of them around, right? So maybe it's the kind of thing where you buy it to try on those cool kind of bow and arrow games, and then you finish with it and then you get rid of it. So it's probably that. It's probably like that, where you kind of, a lot of people tried them, but then didn't have much use for them, so got rid. So these were dirt cheap everywhere until VR came out, and then all of a sudden they were a hot property, and now you can't find them, and Sony are not making enough of them, and that's got to be a big mistake, because I want VR to expand and I want it to get more popular, because really it's hard to sell it on video. I do some videos about VR sometimes and gameplay videos, but you can't sell it until you've got someone in the headset and they experience that real immersion of actually being inside a game world and the 3D element and the hand presence, seeing your hands in the game and all that stuff. When you're actually in the headset, that's when you get people sold on it. So, if you create barriers to people actually picking it up and trying it, i.e. not having any bloody controllers available, that's going to be a problem. These are selling on eBay for like 80 to 100 quid each. That's mental. Before VR, you could get these for literally under a tenner every day of the week. but supply and demand, there's not enough of them. There's a lot of people wanting them now. So there it is. And Sony have dropped the ball. They're not making any new ones of these, or not enough of them at least. You can get them in packages. If you get the whole system together, I think you can still get them in packages, but even that, I went to Game, they didn't have any in. The number one video game retailer in the country, in Nottingham, one of the biggest cities in my area, in the Midlands, they didn't have any of these motherfuckers in. So that's a barrier, that's a problem. You just had the Christmas period where, everyone's already got a PS4, the PS5's not here yet. That was your moment to get PSVR in homes. People are looking for a new piece of kit. They want to give you the money, fucking empty the wallet at you. They're looking at the PSVR thinking, oh, I'll try that. Hang on a minute, I can't get any controllers for it. Maybe not. So that's a problem. Sony, you dropped the ball. But I can only expect, well, I'm hoping the reason for that, to me, the only acceptable reason for that is that they're already planning on new controllers to go with the PSVR. Maybe for when PS5 comes out or something. Let's see how that goes. But we need new controllers eventually, certainly. We're getting left behind because we don't have, analog sticks. The PC VR, they've got much better controllers because they have the extra control of the analog sticks on both controllers. So you can move around 3D environments whilst doing things with your hands. Whereas on PSVR, a lot of the time you have to sacrifice some of that dexterity, some of that maneuverability, because you have to use one of your hand movements to direct yourself around the environments. So the Skyrim method is the most common, the most popular method. And that involves you kind of holding the move button and pointing. And it works brilliantly, don't get me wrong. It works fantastically. And they have found, most games on VR, on PSVR, have found some really effective workarounds for the fact that we don't have thumbsticks. And, I haven't really had much of a problem. There's one or two games, there's kind of awkward controls as a result of not having that those thumbsticks. But most games have nailed some alternative. But you still do have to compromise. With the Skyrim, you're kind of moving around like this. So when it comes to a battle, you can't really use your shield and sword at the same time as moving around because you're holding your shield up, but you want to move around as well. So you're trying to point whilst blocking. Yeah, awkward. So long and short of it is, we need new controllers with thumbsticks on. So hopefully they're quite far along in development. Hopefully they're planning on bringing those out. But it's going to be difficult. It really is. Because, like I said, with these, they were already out there in the world. PlayStation gamers already had these collecting dust in their cupboards and stuff. So maybe that was an easy in, When you introduce new controllers, it's not going to have potentially, the uptake at such a high level that you might need to justify, introducing this new control method that developers will then start making games for. So it's going to be an awkward transition, is what I'm trying to say. But we'll see. PSVR is still selling better than all the other headsets. VR is still, a relatively small niche thing. But as the quality gets better, as the price comes down, hopefully it'll spread. Because it's just so enchanting. VR has just reinvigorated my gaming so much. Absolutely love it. But yeah, early days. Let's hope it goes from strength to strength. It deserves to. There's a lot of interesting games out there. A lot of indie developers pushing the boundaries and such. On the thumbsticks thing, because we don't have thumbsticks, one or two PSVR games even went back and modded their games, made their games so that you could use the old navigation controller. Now this thing ain't getting a second life. They aren't making any new ones of these. But you've got new games coming out in 2019, possibly even this year, 2020, that use this controller that hasn't been produced for God knows how many years, just because it's got a thumbstick on it. So which one was it? I think Golem. Yeah, Golem uses this so you can navigate around, and it's just more comfortable. You can also use a DualShock 4. So, it's not the only way to do that, but it's just more comfortable to use this as well as this. Say this is your sword and use this to navigate around the world, and it's more comfortable than holding a DualShock in one hand. So there are a few games that even use this. That's how desperate PSVR developers and gamers are for a thumbstick. 2 thumbsticks, please. But yeah. So those are the pickups. New system time. I've been waiting to get one of these for ages. Let's just dive straight in. It is a 3DS. This is the new 3DS XL model. It's got the little extra nub there. 3DS didn't come with a second thumbstick. You even got that add-on. What was it called? I can't really call it. It had some big clip-on thing where you could put a second thumbstick on the side here on this extra piece of kit. And some games do utilise that, and obviously, you know, it gives you extra control. But the new 3DS has this little nub that works as a second thumbstick. If you didn't already know, it's not very responsive, I have to say. I don't like it, to be honest. I wish it was a bit looser. I don't know why they didn't just move the buttons down and put a second actual proper flat thumbstick on there. Would have been better, really. But better than nothing. I'll take that. I'll take that. And the new 3DS also has a bit extra power on it. I'm not sure how many games actually utilise that extra power, really. There's certainly some. I think What's it called? Is it Monster Hunter? Monster Hunter 4. And sorry, the sun's coming through at weird angles at the minute. And Kid Icarus. There's some games that look really gorgeous on the new 3DS to use that extra power. So it is quite a lot more powerful, but it came quite near the end of the 3DS's lifespan, and now they've already moved on to Switch. So it's kind of I don't know. I'm not sure how many games have really utilised that extra power, but it's certainly there, and those that do use it look gorgeous on the handheld. Yeah, so anyway, what I've been doing on this is I had a mission to mod it, because I held out, and there it's you're not going to be able to see it, pretty dark looking. There's the FBI program, and that's not what you think. FBI, nobody move. Now, that's a program you need in order to install ISOs, or what they call them, CIA files, on the FBI file. CIA files, basically ROMs, basically downloading games off the internet, you know, free stuff. And, so I've been waiting to get one of these for the longest time until that was possible, or until that was easily done. And it may well have, but you've been able to do this for a long while, to be honest, but I've only just jumped on the bandwagon. And after several hours of messing about and various setbacks and struggles and frustrations and tearing hair out, I finally managed to mod my new 3DS. And there's Super Mario 3D World. And there's some absolute classics on here. I mean, I've put probably about 25 of the best games on this system. And so this was a lot of fun to do. Hacking is addictive. I got really into it. I was up to like 2-3 in the morning some nights trying to figure this shit out. Yeah, I know, I'm a noob. Some people could probably hack this thing in half an hour straight. Okay, get over it, yeah. But I was working with an ancient laptop, because I had to use Windows laptop. Maybe you could do it using your phone. There's other ways to do things. Whatever, this is how I did it. Using an ancient Windows laptop, because my more recent laptop is on Linux and it's awkward. But managed to do that. There's various different exploits. It's quite a complicated process to get it hacked. But obviously there's a fantastic guide that I was following. If you're interested, I'll link it in the low bar. Fantastic guide to follow. And I had to start once over. The first time that I tried it, I came up a couple of stumbling blocks that were really frustrating, really irritating. I had an inkling as to why it wasn't working properly. And it was something that I'd done wrong right at the start of the process. So basically my file structure wasn't right. So it wasn't finding things where it just wanted to find things. So I just wiped the SD card, started all over again, and this time meticulously followed the guide, every line. And there was one thing that I realised actually early on in the guide, I'd read it wrong and done a step that I didn't need to do. So that probably confused things as well. So I just was a bit more meticulous, a bit more observant. And this guide was absolutely perfect, step by step, dead easy. If you do it right, you actually pay attention, dead easy, and managed to do it. And it was so fun. Hacking is so fun. Oh my god, I felt like fucking Neo. Like I said, first time I've ever done it. I'm a noob. Get over it. But yeah, man, every little victory you get, every little kind of step you get past, and you get a result, and it works. Oh, you just feel like Neo. Fucking brilliant. Absolutely awesome fun. So I spent more time hacking it than I've playing it since I got it. But yeah, certainly some cool games on here. I did buy a couple of things from the eStore as well before I hacked it, because I had some credit on there to use. So what did I get? What was those games that I got? They've been knocked around. Where are they now? Are they even there? Maybe they're, oh, maybe on the other SD card. Yeah, fair enough. So yeah, got some cool games on here. SteamWorld Heist, Fantasy Life, Citizens of Earth, Luigi's Mansion 2. That is amazing. Luigi's Mansion 2, such good graphics and such good gameplay. Yeah, really sweet. And I'm loving the 3D. I know this came out with a 2D version. Why? It's the 3DS. What are you doing? But I really love the stereoscopic 3D. It looks gorgeous. And I guess, I don't know, when you flip off the 3D and it goes back to 2D, I don't like it. It looks horrible. It's boring, flat. I guess as a PSVR gamer, I'm now used to that stereoscopic aspect in gaming. So maybe I expect it. Maybe I'm more comfortable with it. But yeah, I love the 3D on here. And the new 3DS XL has got this kind of feature that apparently uses the front-facing camera, or rear, whichever, the camera that faces you, uses that to track your face in order to give you the best possible 3D. But it does mean you have to kind of keep your head very still, otherwise it kind of flickers a bit. Maybe you can turn that off, but and long and the short of it is, looks great, loving it. If anybody's got any recommendations for this, I've already trolled a few kind of hidden gems videos and got some cool stuff for it. But yeah, any recommendations for the 3DS, give them to me, guys, because I'm late to the party, but I'm enjoying every minute of it. I got it because of the snowboarding holiday that I'm going on Saturday. Like I said, that's what the helmet is in aid of. So there'll be some long travelling there. Also got a new job starting soon, and so I might be using the bus quite a bit more in future. So my commute, I've been walking to work for the last 6 years, which is really convenient and handy. But if I'm going to start doing a commute, then the 3DS is where it's going to be at for me. So yeah, guys, give me any recommendations, and I guess that's it. I'm going to stop ranting now. Thanks for watching. See yous at some time in the future. I don't know. Who knows? Okay, bye.